We are greater than the sum of our individual ambitions, and we remain more than a collection of red states and blue states. We are and forever will be the United States of America. And together, with your help and God's grace, we will continue our journey forward and remind the world just why it is that we live in the greatest nation on earth. Thank you, America. God bless you. God bless these United States.
What makes America the greatest country in the world? Why is America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor? That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180. There is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined.
Once upon a time, a boat full of students set out in search of the land of opportunity. The boat had students from across the globe, each of which eagerly awaited to set foot on the land of opportunity and take advantage of all that it had to offer. However, as they got closer and closer and closer, they found that the land of opportunity did not exactly turn out to be how they had imagined it to be. Disappointed and disillusioned, they gave up all hopes of attaining the kind of education that they had always dreamed of.
What does it look like in the far run if America continues this negative, poor education system?
You know, eventually, since we already are falling behind in some areas, technologically and in science, and that is one of the things the federal government has tried to actually work on. They've pushed a lot of money towards maths and sciences. As we continue to fall behind, we won't be the countries that are coming up with the new innovations and the new technologies. So, you know, eventually, well, not eventually, there are other countries already that are economically outdoing us.
Okay, wait, hold on. We already know America is #1 in just about everything, right?
Well, actually, the teacher does have a point. Let's take a look at some test scores from other developed nations. Let's take a look at some of these Asian countries, such as Korea, Japan, and the US. Let's take a look at their test scores, specifically in math and science. Korea comes in first at 542, and Japan comes in second at 534, while the US only comes in fifth with a score of 483.
Okay, honestly, that's not even that bad. That's like still 10%. Like, come on, in the long run, it can't be that bad.
It may not seem bad in the moment, but think about if this trend continues, then where will we be? But what's interesting is how much we spend. Let's take a look at education spending per pupil. Korea spends the least with $6,400 per student, Japan spends $7,400 per student, and the US spends the most with $10,500 per student.
See what I mean? America, number one.
Haha, not exactly. It just means our money isn't used efficiently.
Seems just as efficient as the trucks we drive today. Anyways, I wonder where all that money goes.
Let's see what the teachers have to say about this.
Okay. Recently, Plano has upgraded their computers. We found that they cost $900 each. What are your opinions on this change? And does higher technology mean better quality of education?
Yeah, I didn't really expect a new computer. It just kind of happened overnight. I was happy with the one I had. I think that money is probably better spent on paychecks for teachers, and to entice people to go into education and to recruit better quality teachers here at Plano.
Well, I didn't know they felt that way.
And he's not the only teacher that thinks this too.
They attribute a very high status to the teaching profession. They recognize that you can't improve education if you don't pick great people to teach and if you don't keep giving them constant support and professional development. Investing in professional development is not a cost, it's an investment. And every other country that's succeeding well knows that, whether it's Australia, Canada, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, or Shanghai. They know that to be the case.
Wow, that guy does have a point. Teachers really do work a lot and not for much money. But I bet most of the time they're just grading papers. You know, all those DBQs they make us write.
They do grade a lot. Let's take a look at the number of hours a teacher spends teaching in the different countries. American teachers spend around 1,100 hours per year teaching. Japanese teachers spend around 600 hours per year teaching. And Korean teachers spend the least time with 540 hours per year, but they show the best results. Now, let's take a look at how much a teacher is paid in different countries. A Korean teacher is paid $53,000. A Japanese teacher is paid $48,000, and an American teacher is paid the least with $43,000. But let's take a different perspective on the issues of American education.
In your opinion, what do you believe the government should do to promote education?
They need to let teachers teach, kids learn, and leave the politics to the politicians.
And he's not the only one who thinks this.
They devolve responsibility to the school level for getting the job done. You see, there's a big difference here between going into a mode of command and control in education. That's what happens in some systems. You know, central governments decide or state governments decide they know best and they're going to tell you what to do. The trouble is that education doesn't go on in the committee rooms of our legislative buildings. It happens in classrooms and schools. And the people who do it are the teachers and the students. And if you remove their discretion, it stops working. You have to put it back to the people.
Wait, so teachers are saying that the same people that give them the jobs are the same people that are hindering them from doing their jobs?
Yeah, let's hear back from Mr. Shaw.
In your opinion, what are some problems that you see with the current American education system? In other words, what is holding the U.S. back from being #1 in math, science, and education in general?
The thing that's holding America back to something called No Child Left Behind We need to realize that every kid's different and every kid offers different things to society. Some kids are not going to go to college, and we need to understand that. And because they're not going to college, then we need to come up with an educational plan, which the key word is educational, to help them compete in a marketplace that they're going to enter into by the time they turn 18, not 23 or 24 like you guys will enter marketplace.
Now that I think about it, government interference or government pressure really isn't the only kind of pressure we have.
Yeah, you're right. We also have academic pressure.
Yeah, kind of like keeping up with grades.
One-third of all students feel pressured about grades.
To be honest, I really don't like grades.
Let's go back to Mr. Brooks and see an example of a school without grades.
I mentioned some of you guys the Evergreen College in Washington State, where they don't use grades. They remove the extrinsic motivation. It's hard to get in there, but the quality of the students coming out of there, they're motivated by intrinsic motives, and they basically plot out their own course for college. So they get to choose what they're going to read. They get to and sit down with their professors and design their own education, and they own it. Therefore, it's not merely about scores.
So, what exactly are the issues with the American education system?
Well, let's see.
So, how do you think we can fix our education system?
I don't know, but Kenny Robinson knows.
Take an area, a school, a district, you change the conditions, give people a different sense of possibility, a different set of expectations, a broader range of opportunities. You cherish and value the relationships between teachers and learners. You offer people discretion to be creative and to innovate in what they do. And schools that were once bereft spring to life. Great leaders know that. The real role of leadership in education, and I think it's true at the national level, the state level, at the school level, is not and should not be command and control. The real role of leadership is climate control, creating a climate of possibility. And if you do that, people will rise to it and achieve things that you completely did not anticipate and couldn't have expected. And there are people who move, people who make things happen. And if we can encourage more people, that will be a movement. And if the movement is strong enough, that's, in the best sense of the word, a revolution. And that's what we need.
Once upon a time, a boat full of students set out in search of the land of opportunity. The boat had students from across the globe, each of which eagerly awaited to set foot on the land of opportunity and take advantage of all it had to offer. As they got closer and closer and closer and closer, they found that the land of opportunity really was the land of opportunity.
We can make this American dream a reality, but we need your help. Call your senator to ask for education reform, for less government interference, to give dignity to teachers for the work that they do. But the quality of American education is in your hands. Your future is in your hands.